Rennie Knopf with Championship BBQ.TV, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. You should say whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh, should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. I originate from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here. Lots of stuff to get to this evening, so if you want to jump in, it's a phone call, 216-220-0966. Yes, that's the right phone number, 216-220-0966. If you want to get in on the phone, if you want to get on the email, this is how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to greg@bbqcentralshow.com. or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening on the show. Coming up in the first interview segment, about 13 minutes from now, you will find the third Tuesday of the month regular guest. He is a prolific live fire cookbook author. He is a prolific author in every sense of the word, not just related to live fire cooking. You'd recall a couple years ago, he did a fictional piece, Islands Apart, I believe is the name of that book. So not only can he write about the live fire, he can also get fictional on it and do something completely different than live fire cooking. That is, of course, the creator of Barbecue Bible and the cooking class instructor that houses the same Barbecue University title at the Broadmoor, amongst various other things, appearances, and so forth. Stephen Raichlen will be joining me here on the show, and we have a number of topics to get to as it relates to the world of barbecue and grilling and things that he's up to. So looking forward to catching up with Stephen. Hold on, I knew it. I can hear the music going on in the back. I forgot to shut down the music program that was running in the back. 9:35 or 35 past the hour. We have open segment, so I have a bunch of stuff that I'd like to talk about, get off my chest, make observations on. So if you would like to do the same, I welcome you to call in or email, and I will get to it at that point. Again, the number is 216-220-0966. Then we'll move to the second hour. And in the second hour, for the second show in a row, we'll be discussing cookers. This one has been around for as long as charcoal cooking implements have been around, more or less. If you are any fan of live fire cooking, you have heard the name Hasty Bake. And again, 70 years this year, 70 years in business. So we will be talking to the marketing director from Hasty Bake, Jennifer Caudle, and she'll kind of hip us to the whole history of Hasty Bake, how it's grown over the decades, and what it is positioning to do as we move into the future. Certainly, there are a number of cooking apparatuses to choose from anymore. More and more are coming out, what seems like by the week. But this one is definitely falling into that tried and true category. The folks that have Hasty Bake ovens are kind of like Big Green Egg people or Weber Grill people. You find a niche, you have those fans and those allegiant customers, and while it might not be their only piece that they have in their backyard or in their live fire burn area at their home or on a campsite or summer home or what have you, it might just very well be their prized piece or favorite cooker in the arsenal, if you will. And those are Hasty Bakes. I think Meathead says that's one of his favorite cookers that he ever has, and he's a big fan of using it quite often. And, of course, Hasty Bakes claim to fame you can do everything in the Hasty Bake. It's not just a grilling thing. It's also a slow smoker. It's also an oven to bake in. A lot of other cookers out there on the market today offering up similar concepts or similar ideas. It's a all-in-one type of a thing. This one has been around for 70 years. So we'll talk to Jennifer Caudle about Hasty Bake in the second hour. Looking forward to getting some inside information there on the Hasty Bake. I've been a fan from afar for 10 years, 11 years. Hasty Bake getting the name, not for the reason that you might think. So stay tuned for the second hour. Getting emails about where we are in the iTunes feed situation. Last week I said I thought we were close. I know we haven't aced out the whole situation, but now we are in a holding pattern of finalization. I was finally able to get back to iTunes, get through some of their support, resubmit the show. It is now under review, which shouldn't take more than 48 to 72 hours. That was submitted last night after I was finally able to change the name of the show for now. If you subscribe to the show or you get it through some form of podcast catcher at this point, it's not going to affect you. You might see barbecue spelled differently for now, but I had to do that in order to get it back into iTunes. And then once that's approved, I can go back and switch it back to BBQ Central Show. And then it will be visible again in iTunes. So, again, if you were already subscribed to the show through iTunes, it wasn't affecting you. You were getting the updates. It was people that were going into iTunes Store and searching grilling podcast or barbecue podcast. My show wasn't showing up as an option to subscribe to. So hopefully that will be remedied and I can give you that final update a week from today. But moving along slowly, but definitely in a positive direction. And I will confirm with you once it's back in the iTunes Store so you can tell all your friends, if they haven't subscribed to it already, to subscribe through it on iTunes if that's the only way they want to do it. I mean, you can do it through Stitcher and TuneIn and iHeartRadio and Google Music and Google Podcasts. Every other podcast catcher or platform you have to not worry about. It's there, available, subscribe, get updates, all that good stuff. Not with iTunes because they're punks, but we're working through that. So I hope to give you that final update next week or as soon as it comes back online. Also last week, I talked about the revision to the steak cooking agenda that we've been working on here the last couple weeks. And I cooked up a couple steaks a couple days ago. Man, I have to tell you, and maybe it's because I haven't been doing them a lot and I've become overconfident in my skills, but my steak game is struggling. And I don't want to be the host that is going to sit here and tell you how awesome I am or how I always knock everything out of the park or everything is delicious. I'm perfect. You're not. Learn from me. I'm not that guy. I've never lived like that. I'm not going to start living like that because I want you to know that I'm a genuine person and that I F up probably a lot more than a lot of these other guys that I actually have on the show that are doing it all the time. And while I think I might be cooking a lot of steak, I might not be cooking near as much as I think because my steak game on the whole for the finished temp, struggling. So I need to practice more because the grill grates, I believe, have really jacked up my overall temps in my grill. Now, look, if you go to grillgrate.com and you read through everything they talk about as far as how it evens out the temperature and how it reduces flare up and how it'll give you great crosshatch of grill marks or sear marks or whatever, which I could really give a crap about. All that's true. All of it's believable. The one thing that they also mention that I evidently have discounted, and I'll tell you why here in a second, is it also says will make your grill cook hotter with them than without or with the standard OEM grates. So you do have to allot for that. I didn't notice it as much when I had my Weber Genesis 3-burner, the Silver Beat. But when I got the new Fervor Icon a year ago or so, I had the OEM grates, had the temperature pretty much dialed in, was really making some killer steaks. Then I decided to retro the Fervor with the grill grates. So I yanked out the OEM grates, dropped in the custom-made grill grates from Grill Grate, which I paid for, by the way. And I don't think I've taken into account how much hotter it makes that grill. So while I think I am doing well, I'm still overcooking. So I pulled the steak at what I thought was 130 degrees out there with my Thermapen sticking perhaps too much. And it still ended in like medium plus range. Like when I cut into it, looked at color and all that stuff. So I have to get out there, practice a little bit more, maybe start pulling it off at 125. Now look, in my defense, super juicy, flavor was awesome. I used Double Secret, Big Papa Smoker's rub, and Dave Bosca's Grilling Addiction Match Made in Heaven, topped with a bit of butter-flavored grilling oil as they were coming off. To be honest, that's twice I have found that their products blend very well together. The other side, Sweet Money and Honey Rub, work really great on pork products, so thank you, gentlemen, for great products. Again, which I buy. But man, do they taste great. So got to step up the steak game. And I will continue to practice and reap the rewards of both good cooks and bad cooks. Hey, behind every great meal is a great grill, but not just any grill, a Traeger grill. And the Timberline is Traeger's most advanced grill yet. It allows you to grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, and barbecue like a pro, no matter what your level, thanks to the incredible wood-fired taste. Seriously, if you don't know flavor, you don't know it until you're cooking with it. And that's because Traeger uses all-natural hardwood pellets, so fuel is literally the flavor that you're cooking with. From low and slow smoked ribs to a seared steak, even a baked apple pie, Traegers can handle it all. And the Traeger Timberline makes it even easier thanks to the Wi-Fi capability. You can check out your cooks, kick up the temperature, and set custom cook cycles anytime, anywhere, all right through the Traeger app. In fact, I should go check on my pork butt and brisket right now. Find a local Traeger dealer or check them out online at TraegerGrills.com. Want to step up your barbecue game? Yeah, you do. Traeger Shop Class is going coast to coast right now, bringing barbecue knowledge and amazing wood-fired food everywhere they go. Taught by professional pit masters, you'll take home all the skills you need to reach barbecue glory. Find a shop class near you or sign up today at TraegerGrills.com/shopclass. That's TraegerGrill.com/shopclass. Made two of the best pork butts I have ever made over the weekend on the Traeger Timberline 850. I think in part because A, the cooker, B, Smithfield pork butts came out solid. So tender, so moist. People are coming to me telling me how tender the meat was. Aside from the taste, can't get over how tender this is. Got to thank that Timberline. Rocked it up, 9 p.m., 2 butts on, 225, super smoke. Kicked it up to 250 at 5 a.m. Finished them off by 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they were wrapped up, ready for transport. Everybody enjoyed them at 2 p.m. So remember, pork butts stay hot a long time. Stephen Raichlen coming up out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauces, and, of course, my favorite grilling oils. All the Butcher Barbecue products have been tested on the competition circuit as well as in the backyard worldwide. Be the pit master of your neighborhood. Visit ButcherBBQ.com to stock up now. Always trust your butcher. I'm telling you, if you haven't gotten with the grilling oils yet, do yourself a favor, get with the grilling oils. My first guest is seen the third Tuesday of each month on this show, a 2015 Barbecue Hall of Famer, a TV show host, barbecue cooking class instructor, multiple-time author. Let's go ahead and race to the Traeger Grills hotline. And welcome back, friend of the show, Stephen Raichlen. Stephen, how are you, buddy?
Great, man. How about you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Stephen. Appreciate you making time for the show, as always. And a number of different topics that I wanted to get to here this evening. And the first of which, I guess, kind of pulls us back at a very high level here. You know, we talk about what foods to make and give me some recipes. And I have food bloggers and authors like yourself, cooking class instructions. We really get down into the nitty gritty of how to make something or how to throw a good party. And I think one of the things that might get overlooked a little bit, or perhaps the better observation, is people are taking a lot more advantage of whatever space they have in the backyard or at their vacation home or whatever, not buying a car or maybe not buying a boat, but really heavily investing in that outdoor living space or burn area. And I'm wondering if you're seeing the same kind of trend that I am in your travels.
Well, absolutely. You know, when I started in this business, grilling was a special occasion activity. I mean, now the outdoor kitchen is an extension of the indoor kitchen. Grilling is one more method of cooking we use, like baking, broiling, sauteing, frying. And, you know, for me, it's the best because it adds flavor. It's an intrinsically flavor-boosting method.
Stephen, outside entertaining areas, from a suggestion standpoint, I would imagine if you travel around and you're getting to see, you know, some of the really loaded out places, or as you attend shows and you see some of those cool setups out there, do you have any suggestions for people that are looking this summer to kind of make their backyard a little bit more of an outdoor living area? Some things that they should have, and then some stretch goals that a Stephen Raichlen might suggest if the budget allows.
Well, first of all, I mean, there are two strategies for building an outdoor kitchen. And one is to have everything matchy-matchy, you know, uniform cookers, lots of stainless steel, all designed by the same company. I mean, for that route, Kalamazoo is a really good example. Everything built in, everything totally top of the line. The other strategy, it's the one I follow, is what my wife calls the hardware store display, area approach. I'm always rotating new grills in and out of my kitchen. Nothing matches because I select the Komodo style cooker I think is the best. I select the wood burning grill I think is the best. I select the smoker I think is the best. And that is perhaps a little bit less felicitous to the eye, but you know, I like it because I'm always trying new things out. You know, in terms of essentials, sort of the two biggest, neither of which have anything to do with grilling. But one is great lighting, right? Because usually in a patio, the light is on the wall. You are in front of the grill, and there is great obscurity and shadow on whatever you're grilling. So set it up so you've got light that's illuminating the grill surface where you're cooking. The other thing is running water. You know, really nice to have hot and cold running water outdoors.
You know, I too have a hardware display effect on my back patio, but this has nothing to do with cooking either, but we found matching the tables and chairs, sitting devices, and you know, some of the other more internal or homey type things was more of an important thing for us than it was to try and match all of the cookers. I would imagine, especially if you're somebody like me or somebody like you, it's great to have a wide variety of cookers, and matching is couldn't be secondary to whatever, as long as you have the options. But if you can make that match, maybe some of those living decorations are where you want to make that effort.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I do want to assure everybody all of my chairs match, my table matches. My wife's in charge of that, and she's pretty design conscious in that arena.
So it took a while for us to get to summer, but now that we are here, we've certainly had a run of a number of hot days in a row here, a couple different times during summer, at least here in Cleveland. I'm sure, you know, down in Florida, or you're in Martha's Vineyard typically at this time of the year, so you've probably seen some heat as well.
Just got back.
What about outdoor cooling options? I don't know if people really put a lot of thought into this other than, hey, it's hot. Let's put up a 10 by 10 canopy. But even then, if it's indirect sunlight, you're kind of getting that salamander effect of the heat coming down off of that vinyl. Maybe you pitch up a fan to blow some hot air around. Are there any good cooling options that really cool that you're familiar with that you could share?
Man, that's I'm very lucky to be on Martha's Vineyard. Even the hottest day, by the time night falls, it's there's a nice breeze. Down in Miami, where I spend my winters, they have systems that sort of in effect are misters, and by hitting you with tiny droplets of water, there's a natural evaporation which keeps you cool. You might look into those. I'm lucky. I've chosen beautiful grilling weather year round.
There's an option that I have, and it doesn't work great for me. It's called the company's called Portacool, and they make evaporative coolers. Now they'll sit there and tell you, don't get that confused with a swamp cooler. I have no idea what a swamp cooler is, but I would assume that people are just trying to lump it in like Kleenex is facial tissue. But Portacool is an evaporative cooler, so there's some media on the back. It gets wet, dripping water, and then it pulls air through it, and then out, so you get cool. So if you live in the desert Southwest, this is going to work really great because it has the opportunity to use that hot, dry air in front. So you almost get that, you step out of the pool and the breeze hits you, so now you're cool. So that's like the process there. However, I have noticed when you're in Cleveland and it's 90 degrees and 100% humidity, you maybe get a 5-degree difference instead of that 25 to 30-degree difference. But if you are in the desert Southwest, that is a great cooling option. Otherwise, we just kind of use fans to push it around and
one of those big industrial fans would do the trick.
Brutalize through the heat because we love to get in the heat.
Just remember what it's like in January and February, and then all of a sudden the heat won't feel so bad.
Yeah, that's right. We're not complaining. We're just living through the reality of whatever that heat is. So.
But there's no such thing as global warming. Our genius politicians assure us.
Absolutely. All a farce. All a farce.
Take comfort in that.
Stephen Raichlen joining me here on the show, barbecuebible.com, his website. Stephen, what do you think from a traveling or perhaps an internet/social media perspective? Do you think one or the other has impacted the growth or the interest of live fire cooking more than the other?
Well, I think they're both important, but I think they have served different roles. And I would say that traveling provides content. I mean, for me, certainly Barbecue Bible, my first book, Planet Barbecue, every book I write, first thing I do is I pack a suitcase and I start traveling to do research. So I think the travel element is what provides the content. Social media is what provides the audience, the buzz. Both work hand in hand, but for me, it's all about travel.
When we talk about internet and social media, especially social media, I mean, Instagram, if you are a live fire cooker, a barbecue or griller, or both, if you're not Instagram, you're missing out. Everybody's on there showing off their food, showing off how big of an expert and a know-it-all they are. So the question to you is, somebody who is widely considered to be an expert in the industry, if you are not
the expert, not an expert,
the expert in the industry, right, and the Barbecue Hall of Fame credentials to prove it. If you are new to the game, if you don't have a lot of experience or you're a little green behind the ears as this is concerned, and you start to fall over social media, how do you decipher who is legitimate or who is a hacker potentially? Oh, we got a guest on the show right now. There we go.
Say hi to everybody out there.
There she is.
The next generation of grill masters in training.
Right. Wow. What a lucky gal.
Yeah, how about that? I think we might have another one saying hi. This is Julian, and he is also a next generation griller.
Pitmaster in the making.
Fishing this afternoon, so never underestimate the importance of fresh fish on the grill.
Right.
Anyhow, I'm sorry. So how do you recognize? I'm a book guy. I mean, book writing is what I do, and I feel like there's a sort of a gravitas to a book. You can associate a book with an author and with a consistent worldview. And for me, I always look for a book when I need an answer to a question, not to the internet. Now, maybe that's generational. Maybe I guess I feel like when it's associated, a lot of what you find on the internet, there's no kind of personality attached to it. So, so the information may be great, or may not be great, but it's hard to tell.
Stephen Raichlen joining me here on the show. Stephen, I think...
However, I will say you can always trust barbecuebible.com.
Of course, right. But, I mean, there's just so much stuff out there anymore, and, you know, you start to do even a little bit of cursory digging around, and it seems that the popular thing right now is to start an account and repost everybody else's really awesome pictures, and somehow you get a lot of traffic and a lot of follows for putting somebody else's stuff. That kind of seems like an underbelly of success in Instagram.
I would agree. But, you know, I've always believed the old adage, cream rises to the top. And, you know, come on, you guys and gals out there, you know where you get the information that's really useful to you.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the continued, I don't know if acceptance is the word, certainly making and distributing is accurate, but non-meat beef, and it's got a bunch of different names. It's cultured beef, it's clean beef, it's whatever you want to call it. I call it things like the Impossible Burger or the Beyond Burger. There's a restaurant, very local chain here, owned by Michael Simon. He also owns a barbecue restaurant, some higher-end establishments here in Cleveland. He's a Cleveland guy, never does the show, but he's a Cleveland guy. And he has actually put I think it's the Beyond Burger on his permanent menu as an option. As someone who has seen evolutions in this industry, probably like nobody else has, do you believe that this will continue to be something that is not only going to be accepted more and more, but will now have 15 and 20 different options of these kind of burgers?
Absolutely. You know, as a nation, as a culture, we're eating less meat, but we're eating better meat. The appeal to meatless grilling, to meatless meals in general, is growing. You know, I would say I'm vegetarian at least once a week, twice a week. Tonight we had an amazing dinner. It wasn't grilled, but my son, who's a chef in New York, who actually owns a gastropub that specializes in sausage called Jake's Handcrafted, did falafel tonight. He did homemade, made from scratch falafel. I got to tell you, it was the most delicious falafel I've ever had. And I'm actually contemplating writing a meatless grill book. I think more of us want to eat this way.
So what's it like for your son to have you as a dad? Is there any pressure on him at all to be like meeting any footsteps, or are there any shadows? Or, I mean, has he been able to differentiate himself enough to, you know, the last name sounds the same, but it's not like, oh, that's Steven's son?
Yeah. Well, you know, what he does is very different than what I do. Very proud of what he does. It's funny. The older he gets, the less stupid I become. You know, when he was 20, I was like, I didn't know anything. And, you know, now, 20 years later, gee, I actually know a few things too. But his specialty is sausage, very unusual sausage. Like he has, this will be of interest to your listeners, a double smoked brisket sausage where the binding of the sausage is ground brisket. And then he chops and incorporates burnt ends into the brisket. And that sausage is smoked a third time. So it's it's insane, guys.
Only available in his restaurant?
Only available at the restaurant.
Okay, where's that?
It's in Brooklyn, South Slope. It's called Jake's Handcrafted. Next time you're there, you'll let me know, Greg. We'll go there together.
All right, very good. We will make sure that happens when I get up there. So we've talked about the meatless burgers, but of course...
actually, if I may say, sort of the next breath, I just got back from the photo shoot for my next book, which is a book called The Brisket Chronicles. And that's a book about brisket all over the world in every incarnation. So, you know, don't worry, I'm not going over to the dark side. I'm fascinated and passionate about meatless grilling, but my next book you can't get much more meaty than brisket.
July 4th is not only the nation's birthday, but somehow also incorporated into either one of the most fantastic or gruesome events, which is the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest, which has been owned for like the last 10 years by Joey Chestnut. I know you're a big hot dog fan. I saw on your blog that you had actually done some hot dog recipes as well, or suggestions. What's your favorite way to prepare a hot dog, and what's your favorite hot dog?
My favorite hot dog is Hebrew National.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite way to prepare it is either split down the center, butter flight open, direct grilled until it's almost burnt, or a new way I've been doing a lot is called hedgehogging the hot dog. That is when you score it in a crosshatch pattern on all sides. So when you grill it over a hot fire, it sort of bursts open like a hedgehog. The idea behind both methods is you try and expose as much of the meat as possible to the fire, so you caramelize all the animal proteins, melt out a little bit of the fat. It's a fantastic way to cook a hot dog.
Stephen, at the
And
risk,
that, by the way, in the new book, Project Fire.
at the risk of sounding sacrilegious, which I know many times during our conversations I have done unknowingly to you, but I think I might knowingly do this. Would we not want to recommend boiling a hot dog? Because I have to admit, while I never had salmon and I've never done all these great things, I really like a good boiled hot dog.
Well, maybe it's because you're from Cleveland, or I don't know. Maybe it's because you're a millennial or a Gen X or whatever the heck.
I am
you
Gen
are.
X for sure. Absolutely.
Okay, Gen X. No, folks, do not boil your hot dogs. This is an act against nature. Hot grill, char the hot dog, burnt, charred equals flavor. Boiling, I mean, there's a 10th circle in hell for people that boil stuff. So.
All right. And in hell, I am headed in a handbasket. Stephen, I just mentioned that the hot dog eating contest happens on July 4th. Joey Chestnut actually broke the record this year. 74 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes.
I cannot imagine.
So if we get up on the stage to go mano y mano with Joey Chestnut, how many hot dogs are you cramming down in 10 minutes? And be honest.
I am good for 2 hot dogs max. It's not about quantity; it's about the quality. And I'll leave it to Joey, but I have no interest in that.
I think in 10 minutes, going on quantity alone, because I boil hot dogs, so obviously quality is not my forte. I think I could probably get 6 down. And
you could eat 6 hot dogs.
I think in 10 minutes, yes. And
I guess
think
my question would be why?
I don't know. Why does he eat 74? I mean, I get he makes a lot of money doing it, and he's whatever famous he is. But I think if I had to, I could probably do 6 in 10 minutes. And the first 3 I could probably do in 2 minutes, because the first hot dog to me, eating hot dogs is the law of diminishing return. The first one is absolutely amazing. And then you're like, that was so good, I got to have the second one. But the second one wasn't as good, and somehow I fool myself into thinking the third one will recapture the first one, and then it's all downhill from there. But I think I could force 6 down if I had to.
Yeah, for me, it's Michael Pollan, the great food guru, said it, and I really believe it. Eat less meat, but eat better meat. And I try and do that in everything I do. Of course, a hot dog, it's really attention to the details, right? It's got to be a brioche hot dog bun. You got to brush it with butter. You got to grill it. I mean, that goes without saying, right? You have to have a naturally fermented sauerkraut to go with it, right? You have to have really good mustard, like a Dijon-style mustard or a Dusseldorfer-style mustard. You char in that hot dogs. You get all those rich caramel Maillard flavors. I mean, 1 or 2 of those, and why overeat?
Weirdest thing you have eaten, both from your perspective and then perhaps from what a normal person might consider weird, because you have extensively traveled.
It is one and the same dish. It's found in Greece. It's called kokoretsi, and to make it, you start with sheep's brains, sheep's thymus gland. Let's see, you have heart, lungs, liver, kidney, spleen, all skewered on a giant skit. Skewer, and to hold it all together, you wrap the whole shebang in sheep's intestines, season with oregano, olive oil, salt, pepper, cooked on a spit over a charcoal fire. I like to think of it as haggis on a spit. It sounds weird. It is weird, but you know what? It's not completely awful. In fact, I've actually ordered it and had seconds.
Is that a cooked to well, or how do you know when
pretty well.
Wow.
You don't want to eat a lot of those organs rare.
I can't imagine, and that's why we're talking with Stephen Raichlen.
And this my job is to go out and eat this stuff, so you don't have to.
That's right. Look at the sheltered life I lead compared to you. I'm boiling hot dogs, for crying out loud. Stephen Raichlen, BBQBible.com, his website, obviously the TV show Project Fire, and the new book, of course, Project Fire as well. Stephen, always appreciate you showing up here the third Tuesday of every month, and we will look for you again in August.
Always a pleasure, Greg. Thanks.
There he is, Stephen Raichlen. Yeah, I think that's going to be the last time he does my show.
Via the Traeger Grills hotline.
Oh, no. Well, it only took like 8 years to finally offend Steven, but I think I did it when I told him that I like a good boiled hot dog. I don't know what good hot dog, I will boil a hot dog, get the water up to boiling, drop in the schween, take it off the water, let it go 7 minutes. Man, I love it. And maybe it's because I grew up going to horrible Cleveland Indians games where the hot dogs were boiled, and as Dan Patrick say, the mustard is gray. The ballpark mustard. If you've never had ballpark mustard, it's a delight. Bertman's. Anyway, that might have been Stephen Raichlen for the very last time here on this show. In the meantime, go to BigPapaSmokers.com, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue, the curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies. Get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at BigPapaSmokers.com has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From award-winning rubs and sauces to American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need to be a better outdoor cook. Whether you're the backyard guy like me or competition pro like Sterling, Big Papa's has something for you. Big Papa's known for their championship rubs and seasonings, popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, all proven winners on the competition circuit. And in the backyard, they offer 13 perfectly balanced flavors that transform ordinary into extraordinary. If you're looking to improve the competition barbecue recipe, Big Papa Smokers has combined forces with fellow rub company Simply Marvelous Barbecue to form what is now known as the West Coast Offense. Y'all know about that. They also are the proud owners of the award-winning Granny's Barbecue Sauce. Looking for a new go-to sauce that will please everyone? Granny's traditional yet powerful flavors remind us why we fell in love with barbecue in the first place. Find Granny's Barbecue Sauce and other top-rated sauces at BigPapaSmokers.com. How about cookers? You know they got it. They got the Mac 2-star General Pellet Grill, easy and versatile pellet cooker. Big Papa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer. They even offer special packages. Nobody else does that. If you're a backyard barbecue enthusiast looking for durable and versatile grill that will last forever, the M Grill from Texas, just what you need. They're built like tanks. If you're not a fan of either of those, try a pellet smoker. Take a look at the old Hickory Ace BP. It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts to put on his competition barbecue trailer. Not sure what kind of grill you need? You really can't go wrong with any kind of grill or smoker featured on BigPapaSmokers.com. They have something for every kind of backyard cook. Check out their website, shop their full selection. Call 877-828-0727 for any questions, or visit BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BigPapaSmokers.com. Open segment next, 216-220-0966 to get in. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around, be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by CookinPellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit CookinPellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also visit them on Amazon.com to purchase as well. Maybe if the Amazon thing is still going, like, isn't it Amazon Day for the next 36 hours? Maybe CookinPellets.com is going to be on there as well. So again, that's CookinPellets.com to purchase, or Amazon.com. Email from John Dawson. Rem, since you're trying to up your stakes, might I suggest that you go back and watch the 2015 SCA World Champion Darian Cosmo Khosravi's how-to vid. Good idea, John. I will do that. I will do that. Also, John Dawson weighing in. A novice isn't green or wet behind the ears, but Rempy's world, a novice is, wait for it, green behind the ears. That's right. I've done it. Come on. If Stevie R digs out... Let me see if I can read it. P.S. If Stevie R digs out a book to answer every question, one might reasonably assume that dude has far too much free time on his hands. He might have too much free time on his hands, John. Green behind the ears is an actual term. I made it up. Suck it. I want to hear about that. Hey, joining me in studio right now are Maddie and Danielle. There they are.
Hello.
Let me get your mics on here. Let Maddie say hello.
Hello.
And Danielle say hello.
Hello.
Move that microphone closer to your face.
Gotcha.
Way closer.
Is that better?
Yeah, maybe. Once you get talking.
That's good.
You're off camera too, but that's all right. We can't see. So, what brings you guys in this evening?
You asked me if I wanted to come in and talk about my surgery that I'm having on Friday.
Well, okay. You could have played it off a little better than that. Like, I'm having knee surgery on Friday. I thought I'd come in and talk about it. Now it sounds like you've been brutalized into showing up on the show.
No.
No?
No.
All right, make sure that your mouth is near the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then Danielle, you need to go to your left and down. Right. There you go. Now we're all together. There you go. Just squeeze over. Danielle's but a very little girl.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So for the folks that haven't ever met you before, we've done some air checks before when I was headed out to Fort Worth, Texas for the National Barbecue and Grilling Association. But Maddie, tell everybody what grade you're going into and some of your live fire cooking interests and goals for your life.
The both of us are going into 10th grade.
10th grade?
Right? Yes.
What? You don't know what grade you're going into?
Sophomore.
Yes, that's 10th grade. Very good.
Yep.
And Danielle, you are going into 10th grade?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
All right. And then Maddie, what are some of your live fire cooking endeavors or goals for life?
What does that mean?
Don't you have any goals? Like, I want to be able to cook a great pork butt, or one day I hope to own a Kalamazoo grill.
I want to be able to make pizza.
On the grill?
The grill.
Yeah.
With
all right.
the thing that we have.
What thing is that?
The pizza stone?
Made by?
Green Mountain Grill?
Correct.
Oh, yay me.
Good job. We've done it. What about you, Danielle? What are your live fire cooking goals? You like to eat live fire cooked stuff?
Yes.
You get a lot of that at home?
Yes.
Who's the grill
Kind of.
master / live fire cooking expert in your house?
My dad also.
D. Wayne?
Yes.
Okay. What is his specialty?
He doesn't, I don't really know. I don't think he has like one good thing, if that makes sense.
He doesn't have one good thing?
No,
It's all
I mean,
mediocre at best?
Well, like, they're all like good, but there's not one that's like way better, if that makes any sense.
So if he said, Danielle, tonight I'm going to be making something, what would you like? What's your favorite, like, what would come to your mind? What's your favorite thing? Everybody can see you wiping your nose. That's gross. Remember, you're on camera. Professionals.
I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
I don't.
Burgers.
Yeah, probably just like burgers. Grilled chicken's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just plain old grilled chicken. I'm not much of a steak fan.
Really?
Really.
Why? You don't like steak, or it's not cooked right, so you've become a non-fan?
No, I've just never really liked it that much. Like, I've never sat there and been like, ooh, a good steak sounds good right now.
Wow.
Give her the boo.
Just when I think I couldn't like you any less. You've done it. All right, Maddie, so you've teased in the very beginning that Friday you're going in for a knee operation.
I am.
Give us a little background on exactly how this happened or what happened from a tragic standpoint that now requires surgical repair to put you on the road to mend.
Well, in October.
Close to the mic.
In October 2017,
Yes.
I dislocated my right kneecap
How?
stretching at basketball practice.
Stretching?
You know this.
Right. Maddie, we're painting a picture for the listening audience who doesn't know. The
Well-
thousands and thousands.
Okay. Then I got an MRI,
Lord.
and they said everything was fine.
Yes.
But I knew not everything was fine.
Because?
I was still having pain.
Okay.
And then last Wednesday,
Microphone.
I re-dislocated the same knee,
How?
getting onto my bed.
Wow.
Thank you.
So both instances of dislocation weren't like you were snatch lifting 500 pounds or you got in a heated argument with a car.
No,
Nothing like that.
no, I can't even.
I mean, one of the
drive.
times Maddie and I had a little fist fight, but I mean,
You didn't punch her in the knee.
no,
She kicked me.
yeah,
You kicked her in the knee?
it was purposeful. Just kidding.
What? Oh. Wow.
We're over it. We're over.
Yeah, it's okay. We're past that.
All right. So what ripped?
My medial patellofemoral ligament,
Mm.
which is the ligament that holds your kneecap in place.
Wow.
That's a long word.
Mm-hmm.
Medial patellofemoral ligament.
Mhm.
And how are they going to reattach it?
I'm not sure. He
Are they-
told me
They're going to
he's
be anchors and screws and such
Yes.
hardware, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your recovery time like?
3 to 4 months. of-
Not you can't put any weight on it for 3 to 4 months.
Well, no, it's partial weight bearing with tolerance, like
Yes, as tolerated.
as tolerated. There
Right.
we go.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being I can't wait, where do you rate your excitement for this? Oh, wait.
-5.
-5. That's not good at all.
I don't want surgery.
Yeah. Well, being 15, going on 16, not fun to have your first knee surgery then, but
No.
you know, you're young and you're still kind of rubbery, so you should be able to snap back pretty good.
Let's see.
If I was having knee surgery at my age, that would be it. They'd have to cut my leg off.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So just think about what it'll be like when you're 30 years older from now.
Well, they said I won't need knee surgery 30 years from now.
Oh, what are they going to do? What's going to happen?
Nothing. They're going to fix it on Friday.
Oh, great. All right. Well, good. See, you have your whole rest of your life to look forward to using that knee however you want.
I guess so.
You can kick Danielle in the face and pay her back for punching you in the knee.
Good point.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. I was just talking with Stephen Raichlen. He's the world famous live fire cooking person. Maddie knows it. Danielle, do you know who Stephen Raichlen is? Yes or no?
No. I mean, yes.
Wow, I can't believe
She
that
lied.
you're
She
in this-
does.
I meant yes.
She meant yes.
I think you meant you're lying.
Yes and no are two very similar.
We were talking about
Yeah.
hot dogs.
Ew.
Maddie, do you like hot dogs
No.
at all?
No.
Oh.
No.
So if I asked you if you could have a hot dog prepared any way, what's your favorite way?
In the trash.
I heard that. Danielle, do you like hot dogs?
If it's like,
Trash.
at a party and it's the only food there, then sure, I'll eat it, but it's not my go-to.
No. So do you have a favorite way to someone would prepare a hot dog for you to be all jazzed up about it, or no way?
With some onions and ketchup.
Yeah, grilled or boiled?
Either or.
Really?
I mean,
I'll have you know that I told Stephen Raichlen that I liked boiled hot dogs, and he's like, that is sacrilegious. You should never do. There's a special place reserved in hell for people that like boiled hot dogs. He said it. I have it on tape. I think, and also it might be the last time he ever shows up on the show because I think I highly offended him. But he said there was a special place in hell for people that like boiled hot dogs. So bad news, Danielle. You and me are going to be in the same special place in hell.
Well,
I'll be there way sooner than you will, but I'll be there burning and waiting for you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Maddie. So any parting thoughts before Friday's big day?
No.
No?
No.
Like, see you next Tuesday for an update or anything like that? Probably not.
Probably not next Tuesday, but next Tuesday.
2 weeks from Tuesday?
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, sit in for the rest of the segment. We only got 3 minutes left here. I'm joined by Danielle to what you're appearing to be my left, and Maddie, my middle daughter and favorite, by the way, most pretty. We'll keep that between us and the tens of thousands of people listening. Breaking news.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
That's right. I got all the production ladies. Just fade back. This is Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio. And I have a story submitted to me by Tennessee embedded correspondent of the Barbecue Central Show, Steve Ray, who reports to me that Mike McLeod, creator of the World Food Championships. Ladies, familiar with the World Food Championships? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Danielle's lying. He announced at the 5-star food fight this past weekend in front of approximately 1,500 people that the final World Food Championships table will be Thanksgiving night live on television, a network television station. Ladies, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being I'm fast asleep and 5 being I'm jumping out of my skin, your rating, Danielle?
Wait, my rating of what?
How excited are you?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
Solid 3, all right.
Yeah.
Maddie, 1 to 5 rating.
4.5.
4.5. Semi-skin rippage for Maddie. Mike did not say which network will be airing this program. Again, which network television station will be airing this, or what time it would air. But as we all know, Thanksgiving, aside from being the second biggest movie night of the year, is also a huge television viewing day. So Mike McLeod has once again changed the final table scenario completely. Second time in 2 years that'll be completely changed. Chattanooga obviously has a huge culinary scene, mostly thanks to embedded correspondent Steve Ray from the Barbecue Central show. Danielle and Maddie, you would agree that Steve Ray is probably the biggest single momentum factor in Chattanooga's culinary come to life, you would say? True or false?
True. True.
Okay. I agree.
Say yes.
Mike McLeod has been booked on this show next Tuesday in this very segment, the 9:35 segment, to discuss more details on the new World Food Championships final table, once again announced this past weekend at the 5-star food fight. There's going to be Thanksgiving Food Championships to watch. Network and time to be announced. All right, ladies, that's it for you. It's getting hot in here. I know it is, because I have to do a whole nother hour here.
Why don't you get a fan?
In the sweat box. Yeah, to blow all the hot air around so I can convection cook like a piece of eggs. Forget it.
A piece of egg.
Maddie,
Yeah, that
I'm going to get enough flack from John Dawson about what I'm saying. I don't need to hear it from you.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by. I hope you had a great time.
Wonderful time.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mute your mics here so you can just go ahead and take it off and exit stage right. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to the fans about the Barbecue Guru, longest running sponsor of the show. They've always believed that outdoor cooking should be easy because, why? It can be. Especially with the Monolith Barbecue Guru Edition grill. The Monolith is the world's first temperature-controlled smoker with built-in power draft fan. This means smarter control and greater freedom with automatic temperature control. Easily choose your cooking time and temperature and let the monolith do the work of a sous chef or barbecue pitmaster. With minimal effort, you now have oven-like precision at the grill. You can serve the tastiest, juiciest meals each and every time. Consistency. If you have any questions, you call them 800-288-GURU. They will make sure they answer all of your questions, so you buy with confidence. You can also visit their website, bbqguru.com, to check out the full supply and products offering portfolio. Thanks again to Bob Trudnak and the gang over at the Barbecue Guru in Westminster. Jason King saying, horse meat hot dog eating challenge. That could happen. Anywhere but the United States, evidently. Also asking me, do you drink the hot dog water after that, too? That's gross. That is gross. I might be living in a special place in hell when I expire. I will not break all of the rules and drink hot dog flavored water. By the way, that's my favorite Limp Bizkit album, Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. Who doesn't love that? Stephen Raichlen once said this phrase.
It would make cocaine seem like a bargain.
He said that. That was him. It would make cocaine seem like a bargain. I don't even... What kind of... I just saw that in my play deck. All right, that was Maddie Rempe and Danielle Wood. 2B sophomores. One having knee surgery this coming Friday. That's going to be great. One saying her favorite type of hot dog preparation is the trash. That was my kid that said that. That was witty. All right, we're back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
This segment brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Alexa or Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck. Fireboard fully integrated with both. Knows those commands, learning new commands and skills. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232. Or visit fireboard.com. What a great tool. If you're into that kind of tech, man, don't miss out. Fireboard. Once again, to recap, if you're just joining me here, Mike McLeod, creator of the World Food Championship, announced at the 5-star food fight this past weekend in Tennessee, and in front of approximately 1,500 people, the final World Food Championships table will not be months after the World Food Championships take place, as it was this year and at the end of last year. Remember, there was a big 3-month gap or so. Not going to happen this year. It will be Thanksgiving night, live on some type of network television. No network named, no time named. Mike McLeod booked for next Tuesday at 9:35 to discuss more. That is confirmed. I am breaking news, but that is confirmed. All right. In the meantime, tell all your friends and neighbors we have a great second hour coming up, so you're not going to want to miss that. Hasty Bake Oven is in for an interview, as well as a number of other things. Remps, given that your studio seems to be located just outside the boiled hot dog ring of hell, you'll appreciate the open of that Cosmos vid I just sent you. All right. Maybe I'll run that at the top of the second hour, John. Just outside the boiled hot dog ring of hell. I mean, the way the temperature is in the studio, it feels I'm smack dab right in the middle of the hot dog boiled ring of hell, or the boiled hot dog ring of hell. Man, oh man. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. Refresh your cocktails. I'll refresh my water and see you back here in about 45 seconds to a minute. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. Be right back.
Hi, this is Jeff Richards, Columbus, Ohio. You're listening to Barbecue Central. Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me! Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish! What?
We ate 2 feet for wiener.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. It's the Barbecue Central Show. We talk about cool things that involve barbecues and grillings. I'm Brian Fellow. If you missed the first hour of the show, never fear. You can always get this show via the podcast. Go to the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. Find out the multiple ways of subscribing to this show via the podcast. Google Podcasts, Google Music, Stitcher, iHeart, TuneIn, soon to be iTunes again, Podmatic, Podcast, Vcast, Podcatcher, you name it. Dump it in, and you're off and running. If you missed the first hour, you missed Stephen Raichlen. We talked about a number of things: outdoor entertaining areas, live fire cooking areas, essentials to have. And then I believe I mortally offended him by saying that as we were talking about hot dogs, I said, hey, I enjoy a good boiled hot dog. Actually, I didn't say it like that. I said, I prefaced it by saying, hey, I know I've offended you before in my unworldly culinary broad horizons or non-broad horizons, but I like a good boiled hot dog. And he's, whoa, you can't do it. It's sacrilegious. Never eat it. We never boil hot dogs. I mean, he got pretty freaking elitist on my hot dog ass. And then on the way out mentioned that there's a special, he said it way cooler than I did, but something in the terms of a special place in hell for people that like boiled hot dogs. So at least I know where I'm going. I thought I was just going to general population of hell, but no. I'm going to the special reserved spot in hell, along with my friends that like boiled hot dogs. Also in the first hour, we talked about the news breaking of the World Food Championships and how the final table is going to air Thanksgiving night this year and not have that 3 and 4 month layoff like it did this season. That's entertaining. Mike McLeod will be on the show next week to talk about that, coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Jennifer Caudle from Hasty Bake, maybe having some connection issues, and I have sent her numerous emails saying, hey, either call this number or give me a number to call because what I had planned on using isn't working. No surprise if you're a fan of this show, right? More of the same. Rempe's technical issues, although you can't really tell, they continue to plague him and want to drive him crazy. Blah, blah, blah. All right, you've been wanting to see, how the hell did it end up over here?
Stay cool.
Hold on. Oh. How the hell did the screen end up over here? All right, hold on. Let me reboot. I apologize if this comes on hot. I was not prepped up for this, so I'll have to make adjustments on the fly. This is the steak competition from beginning to end, Cosmos Q.
Stay cool. It's going to be hotter than balls tomorrow.
or in my studio.
Let's go cook steak.
All right.
All right, so what we're doing is we're getting ready to go cook a steak competition. So we're going to shoot these, this one a little bit different.
All right.
Wanted you guys to kind of see what goes on, everything. So we're packing our...
Here's the guy.
So
There's
this
Brett.
whole thing starts between 8 and 10 in the morning for a cook's meeting, steak selection.
Yeah. Whoa! Look at what he's doing.
You don't even put it on the grill, right?
Wow. Holy moly. He has that thing like salt blocked down. All right, I want to see this. Let's get the washed off all the salt.
Trying to rinse this steak off. Hey, Rocky, would you open the top of that?
Oh, painful. Okay, now he's shooting for temperature. PK, melting butter on top of the PK, like that. 600 degrees. He's probably right near target. Yep, there he goes. There he goes. I can't tell if he... Did he put... Darn it. All right, not showing how much time in between. Ooh, look at that. Pushing down to get those grill marks. There you go, cleaning off like that, because he's going to have to come back over on that side. People on the audio side, do not dig this at all. I apologize. I'm trying to give you that play-by-play. It's going back in for the flip. It's not giving you any time frame on how long these flips are taking place, I can tell you that. Now he goes for the flip. I got to be honest, that steak is not winning right now. That would not win. It's not perfect enough. I think if I remember correctly, John said that is the steak-winning cook of 2015. Let me run back to John's post, if I'm not mistaken. John Dawson, since you're trying to, I suggest that you go watch the 2015 SCA World Champion Darian Khosravi how-to vid. Shows include seasoning, times, and temps. I didn't see any. Right. I was also scrubbing through it, so I'm just saying right now, the way that steak looked on the flip, that is not winning. What is this? I have leading expertise. F you. That steak isn't going to win these days. 3 years ago, maybe a winning steak. But the top of that steak did not look like what is winning right now, which means not going to happen. Yeah, I know, Kinger. I'm going to get hit with it. I'm going to get hit with the copyright.
Big stuff out of here.
It's going to be hotter than you know what. That's right. I just skimmed through that. I might go back in the... Well, I can't go back in the editing process because I'm streaming live right to YouTube right now. Oh, boy. Well, whatever. Got an email from Mark. Hey, Greg, I find it important writing you this... By the way, this was a couple weeks ago that I got this email, but I'm just getting to it right now, so I apologize for the delay and the lack of timeliness. Hey, Greg, I find it important writing you this short email, especially because of your 2 last shows. Somehow, I don't know why, the show has really made another big step for me as a listener of your show. The interviews and the stories, especially the last interview with Stephen Raichlen, so that would have been last month, and Dr. Barbecue have been outstanding. I also like the stories about the development of Traeger. Finally, and I am in Germany, this is still a very tiny branch and difficult to find, I have bought myself a Green Mountain Grill Daniel Boone due to the adverts on your show. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And so do the people at Green Mountain Grills. Sounds like crap. An outstanding product. Thanks a lot for your high-quality show. Mark in Germany. All right, Mark. Well, thank you for writing in. Appreciate that. Chili pepper incident. Folks, if you are the type of person that likes to take part in this whole weirdo thing going on. If you really like hot chili peppers, you know, you expect pain. Depending on what you're eating, you expect a lot of pain. In addition to feeling that pain, you might be feeling like you just put a live coal in your mouth. You may weep, vomit, wonder why in your life you took that wrong term. It seemed like a good idea at the time. You don't expect a headache so intense and immediate that it sends you to the emergency room, but that's exactly what happened to a 34-year-old man who turned up at a New York hospital with what clinicians call a thunderclap headache. His problem began when he ate a whole Carolina Reaper, the hottest chili pepper in the world. By the way, Catfish Cooley ate 3 Carolina Reaper peppers and chugged a bottle of Fireball to see what happens, and they are hotter than the chocolate booter or whatever you call it. He immediately started experiencing dry heaves, not unknown in the hot pepper eating world, but then a pain in his neck and head came on like a thunderclap. It passed, but over the next few days, he experienced more thunderclap headaches. That's the clinical term. So he sought more medical attention. Scans of his head and neck showed the kind of constriction in some arteries that can cause intense headaches. Doctor reported in BMJ case reports. The scientific term for this temporary narrowing of arteries is reversible cerebral vasotorian syndrome. The Reaper has been measured at more than 2 million Scoville heat units, the accepted scale of how hot peppers are. The patient was fine, no lingering damage, but thunderclap headaches are not to be dismissed. For one thing, there is the pain, which seems to surpass even the normal effect of the Reaper pepper. It happens instantaneously. If that kind of headache hits you, it makes sense to seek medical attention, whether you've bitten into a pepper or not. Really, with the chili pepper eating, if you don't have the you-know-whats to withstand it, I mean, you should know if you can handle the heat. Work your way up. If you got through all the levels before Carolina Reaper, then go ahead. Otherwise, don't do that. You're not Catfish Cooley. America, baby. Catfish loves Cook Shack smokers. I bet he does. They're for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience, whether you barbecue in your backyard, on the competition circuit, or in a 5-star dining facility. Cook Shacks have the unit that will do the job, and with a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, and wood chunks, is the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be your barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, smoke and grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website at cookshack.com or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Google+. Get advice and share your passion for barbecue on their world-class barbecue forum. Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion, Ed Fast Eddie Morin. The FEC 100 and PG 1000, always customer favorites. The PG 1000 can actually double as a smoker and a grill. Low and slow, hot and fast. The pellet grill line gives you the most for your money. Cook Shack residential electric smokers are the #1 smoker in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven, you can make in a Cook Shack. Passion and dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing, with quality always being at the forefront. Get the best in barbecue since 1962. Call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698, or visit cookshack.com. That's cookshack.com. Longtime sponsor of the show, and appreciate their support. Jason King, anyone feel sorry for this guy? Nobody feels sorry for this guy. Nobody felt sorry for my buddy Catfish Cooley when he ate 3, count them, 3 Carolina Reapers, then chugged a 5th, literally chugged a 5th of Fireball. Vomiting ensued. Comparing the heat to eating Satan's testicles ensued. If you haven't seen that video, it's the best. Just YouTube Catfish Cooley Reaper peppers and just enjoy the fun and frivolity that ensues. We're going to effort Hasty Bake out of the break. Stick around.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, Smoking with Smithfield committed cooks. I know you're out there. Make sure you head to smokingwithsmithfield.com. Report your first place wins to claim your prizes in ribs, in pork. Have you registered to compete in the American Royal Pork Loin Ancillary? Smithfield just increased the prize purse to $6,000. Make sure you sign up at the American Royal website today. Also, don't forget to sign up for the Smithfield Classic. That's the second year of that competition. That will be in Richmond, Virginia on September 29th, so still about 2 months out. To sign up, reach out to Jesse with Big Papa Smokers at Jesse, Jessie, Jesse at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's Jesse at BigPapaSmokers.com. So if you are familiar with what a guinea pig style event is, that's exactly what the Smithfield Classic will be, except it has the name Smithfield Classic, because it's in Richmond, Virginia, home of Smithfield pork. But it is a guinea pig style competition. So if you're interested, Jesse at BigPapaSmokers.com, Jessie at BigPapaSmokers.com. All right, Jennifer Caudle is on the proverbial clock. By and large, this is my fault. We had the other call-in system ready to go. Tested vehemently and extensively through the day, as time allowed. Kind of had it right. Then briefly, right around 7 o'clock this evening, it was all working. So remember, and not to bore you with the inner details of how this show works and how I continue to try to stretch and push the envelope of technology as it relates to the show while others merely wade in obscurity and mediocrity. There's a program out there that would allow me to have a screener who is John, the guy that produces the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less for you each and every week. And he has volunteered his time to be my screener. So he fires up said computer, logs into the screener side, gets phone calls to that screen, answers, Barbecue Central Show, this is John, name and where you're calling from, all that traditional radio crap. Then he screens out. Let me see. Might have just gotten a number from my screener. Yeah. Let me go up to Skype here. We'll ditch Stephen Raichlen for the moment. Put that in. Take away the spaces. 1. Well, let's just see what happens. You're going to hear ringing. I hate that. That's all right. We'll muddle through. Together, we will muddle through. I know it. Plenty of time left in the segment. No need to be hasty.
Hello, it's Jennifer.
Jennifer, this is Greg from the Barbecue Central Show.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Sorry for the non-technical availability. You know, I was just saying, filling space, that this show prides itself on being the most technically forward-thinking live fire show, regardless of platform, regular radio, internet, blah, blah, blah. However, when it doesn't work, it's like the worst thing ever, and that's what everybody loves to talk about my show. Oh, he's always having problems. But I'm trying to push the evolution of this whole thing forward. I'm the bus driver here, and everybody's just sitting in seats behind. You know, being with Hasty Bake, I mean, nobody knows better than you what it's like to, you know, start out and then continue to evolve over, you know, what is 70 years here. So I guess before we get into the history of Hasty Bake and all that good stuff, you're the marketing director. By the way, is your last name Caudle?
Yes. You got it right this time. Everybody gets it wrong. So you got it right. That's awesome.
Having a last name that nobody seems to be able to pronounce myself, I do try to take care when I pronounce. Sometimes I'm wrong, but most of the time I'm right. How do you find yourself getting to the Hasty Bake doorstep and being the marketing director?
So I came from a franchise industry, and how everything fell in place. I knew the owner, and they were looking for a new marketing director, and I had a lot of skills that meet the requirements needed for this job. So I was actually new going into the grilling industry. It was a world-changing outlook for me because I am now a pit master myself. I feel that as a woman, I feel like I'm pretty confident in my grilling. I'm actually the pit master at my home. My husband, he does not grill. I'm the grill master. So for me, I've been there for about 2 years, and I've really evolved and learned so much about the barbecue industry and how large it is, from the competitive side to just, a regular backyard barbecue.
You had mentioned you had come over from the franchise world. What were you into?
I did a lot of contracts, franchise training. So any new franchisees came in, I would train them. And so it was a whole new world for me.
Quick math tells you that Hasty Bake, as I had mentioned a couple minutes ago, is in its 70th year of business. So I guess from a history perspective, and obviously we could probably run an hour just on the history of itself, but can you give us an idea of how the company actually started?
Okay. Well, in 1948, Grant Hastings produced its first Hasty Bake charcoal oven. So it was one of the original manufacturers of the barbecue, backyard barbecue. Now, we are the oldest barbecue company in the U.S., so we're a pioneer in the industry. So Grant Hasty came up with a new method of cooking with indirect heat, with a portable unit and a first hooded unit. So he really was a pioneer in the industry, coming up with a new way to cook.
So when we talk about hooded, and I guess I don't know when the Weber grill came out, because obviously there's a hood there. Was that originally made without a top, or were they not competing at that point?
They weren't competing until, and I could be wrong, I think it was either the late 50s or early 60s when Weber was produced.
Okay. So
we had a little bit of time to, we can control the heat with the vents, a heat deflector, a ventless hood, and adjustable firebox. And so that's kind of what revolutionized the method of cooking in our charcoal grills.
So in 48, when it's made, and you said first hooded cooker, what else was around back then? Like, what were people using? Was it just pits and outdoor cooking apparatus that they were building themselves, or what?
I'm gonna guess yes, probably caveman style, just putting it directly right on top of the coal. I think that he probably saw that need for something that could be portable to take to while you're camping or campsite, or just port around to your friend's house down the street. So he was just came up with the design and ran with it, and we have one of the 6 prototypes in our showroom right now, and it looks almost like one of the new Hasty Bakes. They've kind of had that same look over those 70 years.
Jennifer Caudle joining me here on the show, marketing director at Hasty Bake, the website hastybake.com. This was a partnership at first, correct? And then one of the guys, not Hastings, but the other gentleman, moved away and got like 2 Hasty Bakes as payment out of the company or something like that. So these 2 guys were friends and cooking.
Hastings. There was Grant Hastings and Gus Baker. So as you can see, putting those names together, that's what created Hasty Bake.
Were they just friends that like to cook, or business partners, and one said, hey, I got this idea, let's work on it together?
Friends that became business partners.
Those are the best chums to make, right?
Yes, sir.
I noticed the term oven is used in description, Hasty Bake oven. I would assume this was intentional in an effort to perhaps differentiate it from other grills on the market, or perhaps to give it more of a wide sweeping appeal than just to set itself up as a grill only.
Yes, because you can grill, bake, and smoke all on a Hasty Bake, all in the same unit. So, using indirect heat, you have that method of cooking like you can in a convectional oven. So I've done things from desserts, I've done lasagna, I've done things that I could do in my oven on my Hasty Bake. And one of my favorite things to make is pizza on the Hasty Bake.
So how do you do that? Give us some tips.
Well, one of my favorite things is you can get a dough. I like the pizzeria dough balls that you get at your local pizza places in your local hometown. Typically, I fast grill it for 2 minutes on each side. So I like a little bit of my crust to be a little crispy. Some will put it directly on a pizza stone, but I'll fast grill it 2 minutes on each side. Lower my firebox down to bake, put my heat deflector on, and it's essentially using my indirect heat. I'm baking me a pizza on my Hasty Bake.
So you're explaining a little bit as far as how you're setting it up and the versatility of it. So initially, when it was first made, what was the setup and how did it work? And is it the same method more or less today?
Same method. They have the heat deflector that would sit on top of your firebox. They had the adjustable firebox. So that's what creates that versatility in your grill. That in the larger models that we currently have, it's a 14-inch clearance from searing to smoking in your grill. So there is that measurement that you can move up and down. So it's really nice for me when you are searing a steak, you can really get a good sear and do a reverse sear, or you can just do a sear.
What kind of market, well, I mean, I guess we kind of covered that a little bit as far as like what kind of a market was existing out there in 1948. So when the partners were putting this together, they just knew that they had something unique that they could put out to market. Were they feeling pretty confident that this was going to be something that people were going to take hold of, or were they hedging on a sizable risk that it could go the other way as well?
I think that they, were jumping into an industry new at it. They knew that they wanted to produce a grill for any family that could use at a reasonable price. But I think what was probably the difficult thing was for them was to see, okay, can people take this to competitions and utilize this and win, blue ribbon results in barbecue competitions across the country. So I think we won the grand champion of 1994 American Royal in Kansas City. That was a huge thing for us. And then we've won lots of competitions throughout. And we have our seasonings who've won, our seasonings have won awards too.
Jennifer Caudle joining me here on the show. Initially, was it just one flagship model, or did they have a couple different offerings to run right out with once they hit the market?
What's really neat is, currently we have 13 models, but over those 70 years, they all have different names. And it's very interesting when you get a call every day and I just found this old, 1960 Hasty Bake. I don't know what's the name of it. And so the names are kind of crazy. They go from Country Club to a Dixie Belle, which is one of my favorites, one from the 70s that has a bell on the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the grill, which is really cute because the bell kind of, was remind people that the food was ready. So that's one of the most popular models that we have. But we sell a lot of the ones that were really popular back in the 60s and 70s were the campers, the ones that were portable. They could just put in the back of their truck or put in the RV and then drive across the country and really have that great taste on a charcoal grill.
Currently, you're offering 13 different models?
Yes.
And from when they were first introduced to where you're at now, how many have stood the test of time, and then how many have, dropped off of circulation, if you will, over that same amount of time?
Well, what's crazy about Hasty Bake is they still have the same amount of models. They've just only changed the name. One of the newest, so they've had 12 models that have been consistent. The newest model that was probably introduced in the early 90s was the Ranger, which is a larger portable unit that is really great for tailgating. Has a lot more cooking space, but again, it's a portable unit that you can take versus the camper is a smaller size.
Is that all stainless, that Ranger? I have a picture of it up
The
right
Ranger, yes, all stainless steel. It is, people are winning state competitions with it. They're taking it, because it's portable, so they can really have that option of raising their firebox for a great sear. So a lot of people right now are really purchasing the Rangers for that competitions. in steak.
Let's talk about advances and innovations over the years. I'm going to assume that while a lot of it has probably stayed the same, there were things that either customers or research and development has said, hey, this was great in the beginning. Let's go ahead and make these changes to kind of continue to evolve into the market. What are things that make Hasty Bake unique?
You know, we one of the things is, again, at the lift mechanism. So there are older models that have the crank in the back. We have built-in models that have front-loading option for your charcoal. One of the unique things is kind of what changed is the lift mechanism, the evolution of how it lifts and raises. And the parts that we use, you know, they probably went from metal to now we use 304 stainless steel. You know, when we're actually doing our powder coats, back then they were kind of more of a speckle paint, and that was probably in the 70s, and people loved that speckle. We had olive green colors, we had orange, and we had black, and now we're just kind of, we have those standard black powder coat and a stainless steel. So you can kind of see the trends over the years that Hasty Bake has evolved with it. So in the 70s, you had those fun colors, and then it evolved into now more of just a clean cut powder coat, black or stainless steel.
Has there ever been any talk? I mean, you look at these and they look very serviceable. They certainly have a unique look. I guess when you hear Hasty Bake, these look exactly like the Hasty Bake should look. But has there ever been any talk of making them a little bit more modern looking or sexy or sleek or anything like that?
We've had talk about redesigning a new grill for competitions for people that can compete, and it be almost a sexy look for people to take the competitions. That is in the talk. But, you know, a lot of times, you know, people that, for a company that's been around 70 years, people identify with that look of a Hasty Bake, and they love that look. So we did introduce the bifold door where it allows you to have the stainless steel top, and you have a bifold and you have a window. And a lot of people liked that when it was introduced into the Hasty Bake models.
As I was tracking back through some of the history, you see all the advances and the company's growth, and as you said, all those fun colors. I mean, you look back in the 60s and 70s, and you're like, wow, what were people wearing? But it seemed like Hasty Bakes were matching right along with those loud colors and outfits that people were wearing right along with that Hasty Bake oven. And then in 1980, there's a devastating fire that takes place. What can you tell us about that?
So in 1980, there was a huge fire of that. I mean, everything from blueprints to everything was burned. And so it took us a long time to get back to, you know, having to have the redesign, having the patents, having the trademarks, having all those designs. We were able to gain those back, and we were able to grow from that. It was a very devastating fire. We had to move to a new warehouse. But, you know, we grew strong through it. We did lose some things from that. You know, what makes us unique is that we can replace any grill parts over the years from 1948. So when, you know, people do call in, we do have access to engineering and making new parts for those older models.
Was there any talk? I mean, you get into a situation like that, especially if I remember asking Aaron Franklin from Franklin Barbecue a similar question when he went through the fire incident last summer in his pit room. Was there any talk that you know of back in 1980 after surveying the damage and realizing that pretty much everything was gone? As you said, this wasn't just a facility, it was all the drawings and all the paperwork and all that stuff, because you didn't have cloud-based storage like you do now. I mean, this was 1980. Computers were hardly there anymore. It was all paper stuff. Did they talk at all about just closing it up and calling it a day at that point instead of facing it down to a rebuild?
You know, back then, there's what's unique about Tulsa is pretty much Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the company was started here. And the people here are such huge followers. And Grant Hastings was a very well-known, funny guy that people love to follow. I don't think the Tulsa community would allow that to stop, because we were really the only kind of store that people could get grills for in Tulsa, Oklahoma at that time. And so there was a need for it, and so that's why they continued to keep going, because people that they believe in the model and they believe that we can recuperate this loss.
From 1980 until now, can you list off one or two of the biggest achievements Hasty Bake has had, or things that you guys will talk about when you're doing promotion?
You know, we were just inducted this year into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame for our grills over the years. And one of the things that also keeps us unique is we've also manufactured our own charcoal. So we have Hasty Bake hardwood lump charcoal that we sell throughout the Midwest. We sell it online to all our customers, and the demand for it is really growing. And each year we just see more and more people, wanting to buy our Hasty Bake hardwood lump. So I think that would be a huge success, is really getting the brand out there more on a national level.
And this is charcoal that you make yourself, or do you have it private labeled by somebody?
We make it ourselves.
Really? How much is it?
It's $15.99 for a 20-pound bag, and it is hardwood lumps. You're going to get a really good hickory and oak taste.
Nice. You also, do you sell charcoal lighter, some type of a lighting implement or fluid or whatever it's called?
We do. Our Hasty Bake Fire Starter Gel is amazing. It's very easy to light a Hasty Bake within 7 to 10 minutes. So with your ash pan, you line it with heavy-duty aluminum foil for the easy cleanup. I like to do an S shape. Some people like to do a big circle glob. And then you light it with a strike and match or just any type of lighter. And then you lower your firebox where your charcoal sits. And within 7 to 10 minutes, you're ready to go.
Jennifer Caudle joining me here on the show. HastyBake.com is the website if you want to check it out here while we're talking for the next couple minutes. Does the term everything have, or does the cooker do everything really nice from a competition sense, or do you find that the teams that are using these niche them into chicken cookers or rib cookers?
I think a lot of people, when, with the larger models, they really utilize it for more the smoking aspect for competitions because they have the indirect heat. And if they need to make any changes to it, they can raise it and, do a sear at the very end. So they have that versatility. But with the Rangers, a lot of times people are taking that for the portable unit aspect of it. That can do the same cooking as you can in a larger model. But they like it because you can control the heat, and it's a smaller, dense area, so you're going to get a lot hotter area for steaks. And so the Ranger's really grown in the steak industry.
So Hasty Bake has been involved in competition barbecue to some degree. You said there's been some big wins. You'd mentioned 1994. So, you've seen a good swath of time pass here as it relates to competition barbecue. So as a manufacturer of cooking equipment that has experience in the competition landscape to some degree, how do you see it right now compared to a few years ago? Do you see the competition scene as growing or continuing to bud, or do you see something that has really hit a stride and is now stagnant or maybe dying off a little bit?
I feel like we've hit a stride this last 2 years, and we're getting a lot of big names, people that are really cooking on it. We're really working on efforts on growing our dealer locations throughout the U.S., getting to know the people that cook on Hasty Bakes. I can name a few big names here, Midwest, that use Hasty Bakes, and we're really growing our influencers. And so that's kind of where we're getting that stride from in regards to the competition world. And we also hold a backyard barbecue competition every May, and we have about 45 teams that come out, and it's a huge event. And so we're having our own competition, plus, really getting the name out there at all the competitions in the Midwest. Are
you guys really pushing social media and stuff? You had mentioned that term influencer, typically that is some type of a partnership on an Instagram or a Facebook or a combination of all that. You're really trying to take advantage of that right now?
Yes, we're taking a huge advantage of that right now, and we're going to be introducing a system like a bounty for anybody who wins a competition on a Hasty Bake. They get an X amount of dollar. So we're really, really taking advantage of this stride in the competition world right now.
Now, aside from competition, I have it on good authority from my Oklahoma embedded correspondent for the Barbecue Central show that there's a restaurant in Oklahoma that uses Hasty Bake ovens exclusively for everything they cook in that place.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
How many are they using?
They have 2 different restaurants, and I believe and I'm not sure if this number is correct, but I believe it's 32 grills total between both stores. And there is a line every day. People will wait an hour just for this barbecue. And there's been some big TV shows that have come in town and filmed Burn Co. And I think we have a really great partnership with them. That people will go there and they taste the food and they're like, wow, what are you guys cooking on? And then they'll see that it's a Hasty Bake. And we're just probably about 3 miles down the road. So we get a lot of people at lunchtime. Oh, I just left Burn Co. We wanted to come by and see your grill. So we really see the huge partnership together with that restaurant. Plus, there are other restaurants in Tulsa that cook on Hasty Bakes, and there's a lot of food trucks that are getting into Hasty Bakes and putting them on their food truck.
Is that a niche that you guys actively try and solicit, like the commercial industry, or is it just cream on the coffee at this point?
Well, it's cream on the coffee, but we do have a commercial-style Hastings, commercial-style restaurant charcoal grill that goes into a lot of restaurants. It's really great for, people that have trailers and they go to barbecue competitions, but it's really been helpful in the food truck industry.
You had mentioned that you're continuing to try and grow a dealer relationship. So is that the only way that you can buy a Hasty Bake right now? Are they available online, or do you have to pull through some type of a distributorship? Oh, no. You can order directly online, and it's free shipping if you order a grill online, which is a value about $150. Typically, if you live on the East Coast, it typically takes about 2 to 4 days shipping. West Coast, same. Midwest, maybe a day or two. And you can also order. We have dealers throughout the U.S., but we really want to grow into those states that are very heavy in the barbecue industry: Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. So we have, we're really kind of focusing our marketing efforts on certain states right now, finding those influencers, getting into those competitions. And it's really neat to see once we get those influencers, you start seeing the sales go up online from that area. And so you can see that it really does work. You are the head of marketing, so I'm sure you have a breakdown of sales. What is, from a percentage standpoint, seeming to be the most popular unit right now at Hasty Bake? Right now, it's our 131 Legacy powder coat. I think it's due to the value. It's right there in the middle point at $1,049 is our most popular. I think people love that old look of the Hasty Bake, which is all black powder coat finish. And then right in line behind it is our 256 Gourmet with the bifold door. Just from a size standpoint, like how much meat can you put on the main cooking rack? So you can put about 24 hamburgers on the Legacy, and you can probably fit about, I use a rib rack because I do a lot of ribs, but I could put about a rib rack on there, and then we have a warming rack that you can put things below it, and then you can put your bologna chub on top. So you really can probably fit 4 or 5 ribs on there, and maybe bologna, and or if you're just doing like a big brisket and a pork butt, you can also do that as well. Jennifer, I had Stephen Raichlen on in the first hour, and I asked him these 2 questions, and I'm going to end the interview with asking you the same. Joey Chestnut, who is the prolific hot dog eating champion of the world, stuffed down 74 hot dogs and buns July 4th in 10 minutes time. If we go up on stage and try and go mano a mano with Joey, how many hot dogs do you think you could eat in 10 minutes? Okay, are we talking hot dogs or conies? Those are here in Oklahoma. We have a lot of small hot dogs. Right. No, these are Nathan's famous hot dogs. Yeah, and buns. I would probably say in 10 minute span, I would probably go with a lucky number 7. Wow. I don't think I could do any more than that. But that's a 10 minute span. That's one more than I said I thought I could do, and I think I can do 3 in about a minute and a half. It would be the other 3 that would be not that great. That would be the challenge, is once you get full, is putting the rest down. But hey, you have 10 minutes. Maybe you just got to think
what's the reward at the very end?
Yeah, hopefully not vomiting. I guess that would be the best reward.
Yeah.
Second, would you, or will you ever boil a hot dog?
I have done that before.
Do you like it? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
No,
Where does
I
it
do
rate?
not.
You don't?
It's a 3.
Wow.
I'd rather it be grilled or on a pan, but a boiled hot dog, it just doesn't taste the same.
Yeah, I think my lack of culinary horizons, and I told Stephen that hey, I like. And maybe it's because I grew up watching terrible Cleveland Indians baseball as a youth, and they keep their hot dogs warm in water. So it's like that whole thing that I just kind of grew up on. And he summarily said that there's a special place in hell for people that boil hot dogs and eat them. So I knew I was going to hell, but now I have a very special place in hell that I'm going to be hanging out with all the rest of my boiled hot dog friends. So, so good for you. You can stay away from hell, and I will go ahead and take that space for you. But I like, a well-placed boiled hot dog. I'm not going to pass it up for sure. So Jennifer Caudle is the head of marketing at Hasty Bake, and that website is hastybake.com. Jennifer, really appreciate the time tonight and telling us about Hasty Bake. Thanks so much for doing it.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
You too. There she is, Jennifer Caudle from Hasty Bake. I have reaction to that when we get back. But first, I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills. Yeah, John, let's not get technical, right? We dry those hot dogs off before we go to hell. I don't. Green Mountain Grills, right? Some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. 3 different sizes to choose from. We've talked a lot about portability here on the show this evening, indirectly. The Davy Crockett is the one that you can take to tailgates, camping, work, anywhere you want to take a pellet-fired cooker and hold a decent amount of hold a decent amount of food capacity as well. So while you have portability, you're not sacrificing a lot of quantity. And if you don't have access to a traditional power outlet, you can go ahead and use that 12-volt outlet that is in your vehicle. Or maybe you have an inverter or something like that. Davy Crockett runs on that, no problem. Not an inverter for your car, that's a 12-volt outlet. I just want to make that clear. Don't send me the emails again about that. Inverter, comma, some other type of inverter. No, 12-volt thing in your car, comma, inverter. Okay, see what I'm saying? You got me all nervous. Then you have the next model up, the Daniel Boone. That's right. I got one of those. Kind of my exclusive high heat pizza oven, although in a pinch, I'll put the guts back into it and use it as the great slow smoker that it is. I'll do a little higher heat cooking. I'll ramp it up to 400 degrees if I'm doing some chicken wings to crisp up the skin a little bit. Or maybe I'm doing pork belly burnt ends. Sure. Then, of course, I have the Jim Bowie. That's the big dog. Do multiple racks of ribs, multiple briskets in the whole state. Definitely 4, 5, maybe even 6 pork butts, depending if you're panning or not. You can get an extra half rack to add extra space in that cooker as well. You know, they're running on the Green Mountain Grill wood pellets. They'll take any wood pellet, of course, but they do provide you with wood pellets to fire those cookers if you want as well. If you get the Jim Bowie or the Daniel Boone, as I say each and every week, please do not miss the opportunity to add the pizza oven insert to one or the other, or get both and get 2 pizza oven inserts. They're only like $120. The best investment you will make all year and potentially the following year as well. So good. Easy to make. Great thin pizzas. Whip them out in 2 minutes. Pizza party, everybody. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. We're back with a final segment. Some thoughts. Your phone calls. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Stick around. Be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
The National Barbecue News is dedicated to all things barbecue. Their goal to introduce new people to the barbecue world while keeping the barbecue enthusiast and professional informed on all the current happenings in and around Barbecue Nation. They obtain this goal by offering timely new stories, new product reviews, barbecue event calendars, and unique recipes inside their printed products, website, social media pages, and email newsletters. Subscribe now by visiting barbecuenews.com. That's BARBECUE, barbecuenews.com. I have no idea if this is going to work, but why not try it? See if he answers. I want to know. John, you there?
I'm here.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. I'm shutting off Facebook. Hold on, I was on Facebook.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I assume I'm on the air with Greg Rempe.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. How? Oh, boy.
Who is that? Who is that guy?
I'm completely...
Come quick, I need you.
I know.
The first phone call.
I'm completely baffled with what's happening. Well, look, if anybody's listening, please, right now, call this number. And I've left my phone upstairs where I would just try it myself for the last 5 minutes. 216-777-2120. I'm putting it up in the...
I've been answering the phone all night up in here, but I just have nowhere to send it. And nor could I.
Yeah, but people are hearing you because you couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear you, or you couldn't hear me when I was calling in on the phone or on this line.
No, but Jennifer called this line.
Yes.
And I was standing by in case she did and would figure out what to do with it if she did.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if she would have got turned over. Because you, technically speaking, you shouldn't have been able to hear her, right?
Correct.
Right.
I just took a chance. Worst can happen, she wouldn't hear me. She wouldn't know it was me. It'd all fall on your shoulders.
I know. And I was fervently emailing her, call this number instead. Call this number instead. But
well, and you know, I'm going to tell you my embarrassment. I couldn't remember the original hotline number to give her.
Well, I mean, why would you? You're only concerned with the new hotline. Please, somebody call the hotline. 216-777-2120. Call that
I
number.
don't even know my own phone number.
Yeah, well, how often do you call yourself? That's what I always tell everybody.
Never.
I wonder if I can...
Says, hey,
I wonder if I can call
I can call myself. That's like, well, is that tear a hole in the universe?
Let me see if this works. I'm going to call from the hotline number. See if this works.
All right.
Yeah? All right. Go answer
It's
that.
ringing.
It's ringing. You know, I don't think this is going to work because my sound card is taking up the other side.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me.
I've got you. Yes. Did you have a delay?
Oh, yeah, I did. I couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure out if because Skype also uses the sound card. We're really getting into the weeds here with the podcast. But that's all right. All right, send me into the show. See what happens. All right.
I'm going to forward you on to Greg.
All right.
Tear a hole in the universe.
Thank you. Tear a hole in the universe. All right. Here we go. Oh, okay. All right.
Very good.
Quickly. I'll get on the air. Wow. Triple echo. All right, great. I'm going to send myself back to John. See if this works. You got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. This is unbelievable. He will pick up here and shortly. I guarantee it.
There you are.
There you are. Unbelievable.
There you are.
Unbelievable. This is how it was supposed to happen. I'm glad it happened at the end of the show. Right when it fucking doesn't matter.
No one knows the troubles we've seen.
No doubt. Well, all right. I think you're all right. We're still on the phone with me. All right. Dump me, and I'll go back to your other feed.
You got it. I'm going to go back to the feed line, as we call it.
All right.
I'm there if you have me up.
I am. Now I gotta. Hold on. Yeah, I gotta hang up. There we go. Now we're back through the feed.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, John. Well, that really couldn't have capped off a worse 3 hours of phone technology. It's mind-boggling to say the least. But
yeah,
whatever.
but the show was great. I mean, you got the evil cross from Steven on the hot dog thing. Like he was throwing that up like back, like The Exorcist. That was awesome.
Evil cross. Special place in hell
telling
for
ya.
people like me. I bet you didn't know that.
And you even sound that way if you're not affecting your voice. That's how I'm hearing it.
Well,
and, I want a Hasty Bake.
I boil hot dogs, and I live in a special place of hell.
Oh man.
Yeah. There you go.
Is Serbia safe to pet?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to finish up here, and then I'll get a hold of you after the show, and we'll see what happens then. Great.
Hey, just
All
mute me. Let me listen to the feed if you don't mind.
That's fine. I'll do that. John's off the air now.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Dishwasher hot dogs, backyard barbecue show, saying throw those hot dogs in the dishwasher. Do it that way. I can't believe that the feed actually works right now. Wow, that is mind-boggling to say the least. All right, we got 8 minutes there. I got one more read left, so let's make sure that we get that in, and we'll come back and wrap up the show. I'm going to quickly talk to you about Southside Market and barbecue. Attention, anyone who loves sausage and barbecue, which is pretty much everybody. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas and has been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. Famous for the original beef sausage, coarse, ground in natural pork casings, and so delicious. Plus, their authentic Central Texas barbecue like briskets. All meats, including the prime briskets, as I just mentioned, slow smoked for many hours over real Texas post oak wood. They ship nationwide via the online store, SouthsideMarket.com. Make a mental note of that because I'm going to teach you how to get 10% off your entire online order in just a second. They ship fresh and smoked sausages nationwide. Shipping customers can choose to order now and ship later. Include a custom gift note and mail to multiple addresses without additional charges. What does that mean? Efficiency without breaking your bank. All shipped items are vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparations for the customer. Shipped with dry ice to ensure complete freshness upon arrival. All meats are processed in their on-site USDA inspected facility. On-site meat markets for fresh and smoked products. Custom orders are welcome as well. 2 restaurants to eat at: Elgin, Texas since 1882, Bastrop since 2014. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states. Here's how you get 10% off. When you go to SouthsideMarket.com and get your cart ready, use coupon code BBQ Central. That's right, one word, lowercase BBQ Central, and get 10% off your entire online order. If you haven't had the beef sausage, you're missing out. If you haven't gotten the cheddar jalapeno sausage, get it. And then the sausage slammers. If you're going to get some sausage slammers, thank me later. 10% off BBQ Central at checkout, SouthsideMarket.com. That's SouthsideMarket.com. We're back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, finishing up. Thanks again to Jennifer Caudle from Hasty Bake. I think I might like to get a Hasty Bake. I have to send Jennifer Caudle my following on Instagram and see if I can't become an influencer. I need another cooker on my deck like I need another hole in the head. I don't. We ran a little over with Jennifer. I have a large American Ninja Warrior take that I'm anxious to get involved with here. But that'll have to be done in a different day. All the way back in the first hour, Stephen Raichlen stopped by, barbecuebible.com, his website. Then we had an open segment. Talked with my middle daughter about impending knee surgery on Friday and if hot dogs are good or not, and so forth. And then the second hour, we talked with Jennifer Caudle from Hasty Bake. HastyBake.com is their website. And the phone lines seem to work, even though they did not work at all when we were actually trying them at 7. Big show planned for you next week. Nick Solaris is in, first timer to the show. Very excited about that. Going to talk about steak snobbery. September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your program host, Greg Rempe, first saying, and secondly, saying good night now.
This is Marley Rempe, and you're listening to BBQ Central.